Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, I'm Kim and I grow in Zone 9A in Texas Gulf Coast area. I grow outdoors and there are a few days in the winter that require me to bring the orchids inside. I have a small 4 by 14 feet sunroom that I cram everybody in. This year I rescued more than 100 orchids, so my overwintering area spills over to a spare bedroom and more in the kitchen. Okay, let's see what we have in bloom. In front of us is a large mounted Brassavola little star. It has recovered from a black rod and I had to cut away a large portion of the left side of the mount. Luckily, it is still giving us some beautiful blooms. You have seen this orchid plenty of time, but always at an awkward angle. And I'll give you a better view also from the outdoors. I've had this mount for probably about 4 years now, and it started out as a small clump as a bag baby from Lowe's. It's a very easy, fast grower, and I think it does best on a mount. I may do the same for the other Brassavolas I have. It does not require a lot of light to bloom, and as you can see, it does burn fairly easily since its leaves are succulent. When it's in full bloom like this, I have it hung in the kitchen, and the fragrance is heavenly in the evening and early mornings. Okay, to the next orchid. I have yet to get a huge bouquet of blooms from this yellowbird, like I get from the Brassavola little star. Last year, we had a lot more bloom, about double the amount that we have this year. Like many new inexperienced growers, I can't bring myself to divide this plant. Instead, I continue to grow with the inconvenience of managing such a large plant. I think this has been in a pot for 4 years, and it's time this year to divide it. I will do that this spring or sooner. And yes, you heard it correctly. There is a pot inside this huge clump of fruits. It's not an amount. It's in its original plastic pot from Better Grow and potted in wood bark, and probably the wood is decomposed by now. The roots hanging below the pot makes it difficult to handle because I can't set it down anywhere because I don't want to break the roots below it, and I have to always find a hanging spot for it. I grow this like the Brassavola little star in low light and lots of watering during growth season. It does burn easily, and as you can see, there's a lot of scarred leaves. This is Dendrobium Burana Doll number 7, and I have had this one for a few years also. It was practically a little short bush last year with so many new growth and blooms. This past spring, I divided it and gave a large clump to my friend V and another piece to my friend Jim. This is what I have left. The blooms are not very healthy looking this year, but it will get back to good health next year. Dendrobium Burana Princess Pearled. This is a rescue orchid from this past April. I just love how resilient dendrobiums are. After all the rough cleaning I had put this orchid through, it managed to grow a new cane and gave us a new bloom spike. And there is a bare cane also giving us a bloom spike. You can never go wrong with a mini dendrobium. You guys know that I'm a big fan of them. The next dendrobium you have seen many times also, and again giving you a better view this time. I have a funny story to tell you about this one. So I have been calling it Royal Genting all these years. Years ago, I was watching another YouTuber. She calls it Royal Genting, so I adopted that same habit. And I've lost the tag after the first year and never made a new tag. So I decided to look up the orchid on the internet just recently and noticed that I had gotten the name reversed all this time. So it's actually called Genting Royal. Hilarious, I know. My memory is so bad these days. But anyway, the Dendrobium Genting Royal lasts a long time, and it's so wonderfully fragrant. It smells like honeysuckle or sweet melon, and it blooms so much this year already. I think it's bloomed 5 times. Next is Dendrobium bracteosum times Dendrobium tanii. I thought that this orchid needed a dry period in order to bloom, but it actually doesn't. In fact, it shouldn't be dried out completely at all. Just less watering in the winter when it's not growing. So both species that are parent to this cross are from New Guinea and are semi-deciduous. The bloom buds came out late this summer and caught me by surprise. And then it took a long time to mature. It has been maturing about all fall, and then finally now it's opening up the blooms. And, the blooms are known to last a long time. And I've read somewhere that it can last almost as much as 5 months. So I really hope that this will last that long for me. I'll try to keep a record of it. I had it in sphagnum moss and recently unpotted it because the algae grew too much all over around the moss. I grew concerned and really don't want to lose this orchid, so I unpotted it, and judging from how long and fine the roots are, I think that it would grow really well on a mount. All right, now on to the cattleyas. Sorry we went through so many dendrobiums in this video. I didn't realize we had so many in bloom. I thought it was mostly cattleyas this month. This first Cattleya hybrid is called Blc Ronald's Canyon Koko Head. This color really hits the spot for me. I've been trying to fill an empty spot for many years now since I lost the big Cattleya I got in a demolition sale many years ago from my first orchid collection. It was a small collection of about 20 or so orchid, 20 or 30, but my most prized one were the 2 large, well-developed Cattleyas, just like this one, and it didn't have any tags on it. I lost both of those orchids in a freeze, along with my entire collection. And this purple color is very close to what I had. This one may get a little deeper as I get the plant healthier. Okay, our next one is no ID Red Cattleya Hybrid, and it is mislabeled as a Blc Majestic Light Glory. And it is a rescue orchid from this past April. Even though it's not what the label says it is, it sure looks like a chialin, just not as dark and deep a tone as a chialin. I am secretly hoping that it is, but I doubt it. We may never know what it is unless I can find a mispair tag somewhere. And I'm finding many of these rescue orchids have the wrong tags or no tags. I love the details of the tongue. It's so pretty, and it's also very fragrant. Okay, another one with an incorrect label. This has got to be Cattleya White Reception. This is the 4th Cattleya White Reception that I have. I have 1 in my collection from Carmela, and 3 are from William's collection that I rescued. I'm going to give this one, though, to a friend since the other 2 from William's collection are already potted together. You've noticed that the old pseudobulbs look very shriveled, but that's understandable because it went through a really tough cleaning, and the new pseudobulbs and new roots are looking really good. In due time, we will get lots of new growth and we can remove the old pseudobulbs. All right, I am saving what I think is best this time for last. This is Rlc Nakornchaisri Delight, number 3. And I have been waiting patiently for the last 3 years now as it grows old enough to bloom. It would have been a more spectacular show had I not rotted 2 of the sheath. I did not carefully remove the sheath on 2 sides during our heavy rain, and unfortunately the wetness rotted the developing buds inside the sheaths. I wasn't sure what had caused it, and now after looking carefully and examining the sheath, I realized what had happened. I don't have many yellow orchids in my collection in the past, but now I think with this beauty, I have fulfilled that wish. The plant is nice and lush, and I need to divide this one as well. I will probably break off the two sides that are spilling over the pot and put them together as one plant, and then the middle portion will be another plant. It's completely potted with clay pebbles in a netty basket. And surprisingly, it has not been difficult to keep this watered. It gets fairly low light, and it sits next to the pond outdoors with a 70% shade cloth over it. This one is well protected, so that's why all the leaves look nice and not any scorch marks. Oops, I have one more I have to show you. And this is a no ID Skinneri Hybrid. It has a virus and has been blooming every year. Each year, I would cut away the bad blackened pseudobulb, and this year the disease seemed to be more progressing worse on the pseudobulbs than on the blooms. However, the blooms on this last new pseudobulb is showing a good sign. See how only one bloom has a color break? All the other blooms look just fine. However, there is one big odd development on this orchid though. The color on the bloom looks so different this year, more muted and less pronounced in the tongue. It used to have a deeper color, and the sepal and the petals used to contrast the tongue more. There's a side-by-side comparison. One year, I got 3 bloom spike from this orchid. I'm going to break off all the bad pseudobulbs today after I cut the bloom spike off and put it in water to enjoy. There is just one pseudobulb left that has not blackened at the base. So I'm not sure if we are able to salvage this plant. Okay, that is all I have for today. I thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you all have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.